Hi, I'm Becca Denley. I'm founder and director of Shift NWT, which is a bike share program where people can borrow bikes in the summertime between May and October for free for 2 weeks at a time. And I'm also an all-year biker. I winter bike and I summer bike.
Nice.
Yeah.
And my name's Sarah Cook. I'm a family doctor here in Yellowknife and also a bike commuter. I try to bike all year round as much as I can, and just love practicing what I preach. I talk to people all day, every day about the importance of active living and being healthy and being outside and exercising in nature. And so I'm a huge advocate for bike commuting and being as active as we can.
So we're here today to chat with you about winter commuting. How do you commute? Do you commute by bike? Do you want to maybe commute by bike? We think it's pretty great. So we're gonna show you a few tips on how to dress, what kind of bikes do you need to winter bike, and how hard is it? Is it hard for you to get up in the morning and say, I'm gonna bike to work today in the winter?
In fact, it makes it easier to get out of bed.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's amazing. People have been wondering, how do you winter bike?
Yeah, it's a great question.
And why do you winter bike? Why would anyone winter bike?
Yeah, well, it is the best. I love bike commuting. I try to bike commute as much as I can, and I try to bike commute all year round, even though we live in Yellowknife, and sometimes it gets pretty darn cold.
It does get cold. Like, should I wear this to go winter biking?
Oh, I think you'd be pretty sweaty if you got to work in that.
So this is a bit too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, off with the parka then, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see this.
Bye, parka. All right. How does this look? Like, okay.
Looking better. Yeah.
I got layers on, so that's good.
So, Becca, do you have your work clothes on under there?
Of course I have my work clothes under
All
here.
right.
Because I'm commuting to work and I do it all year. Ta-da!
All right. So, Becca, let's see. Like, what is the strategy of how you get dressed so that you can simplify, work clothes on, bike to work, then take your shell off and you're ready to go?
You know what?
How do you do it?
It's simple. Here I am. Boom! Okay, I got my work clothes. I need to get to work. So I'm gonna put on some cozy wind pants that are a little bit insulated, not too much. And then I put on my sturdy boots. And then I have 2 layers because I get a little bit chilly, so I have a little layer that's inside. And then I have my rain jacket over top. And it cuts the wind. And the best part is if I get a little bit hot, I can open it up underneath my awesome scarf. Nice. This is a cool scarf. Do you like it?
I do like it.
Yeah, I'd like to get more of these.
Good strategy.
Yeah. What do you do?
Well, let's hear first what's on your head.
Oh yeah, I got a helmet. It's a ski helmet. And you know, it's nice because it locks in the heat. But it also has vents if I need to like let some heat out.
Nice. And what about on your eyes?
Yeah, so right now I'm wearing my sunglasses, but the best thing that I do, take those suckers off, and this is my very favorite part. This is the best cover-up. All of a sudden, I'm completely covered up. Look, it's coming below my eyes.
That's good, yeah. That's perfect.
So I don't think any wind is gonna get in here as I bike to work.
Question, do you fog up?
Never.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we got work clothes on.
Yep.
Shell on the bottom, not too thick. Boots. Shell. You choose 2 shells on the top. Thin outer shell that's waterproof and windproof.
Windproof and waterproof.
And 1 thin, looks like down jacket underneath.
Yep.
And scarf, helmet, goggles, face covering.
And right now I have no skin exposed.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. If I don't have any skin exposed, I'm not gonna get any frostbite. I don't feel the cold when I go to work. I actually feel really comfortable. This is the biggest surprise. I didn't know I could do this.
Yeah.
This is my first year of biking all winter.
How cold is the coldest day that you have bike commuted?
Minus 51 Celsius.
Yes!
Woo! So easy.
I always feel like it's such an accomplishment to get to work at minus 50 on a bike.
So tell me about you. How
Okay.
do you get your
All right.
Are you wearing your work clothes
I
today?
am.
Oh,
I don't have a fancy kickstand, so I'm gonna have to just show you here. Okay.
Oh, it's okay.
All right, I'm gonna strip down so you can see. I am wearing my work pants. I'm actually gonna go all the way down
You're
because
doing it! Woo!
I'm gonna show you even what I have on my feet, because even my feet have some strategy. So, here we go. So work pants, work sweater. I do not wear these socks at work, but I wear these because I have little shoes at work. So this is just a really thin layer that I wear. Obviously not warm enough to bike in, but when I get to work, I can just slide my feet into my work shoes, no problem. So I put my warm socks on top of my small work socks. These are thin shell. Again, I've tried wearing thick snow pants, uncomfortable for biking. So I wear thin shell, does not have to be fancy. Any thin shell will work. And then I wear Steegers because I find Steegers really warm and flexible, but again, any winter boot will do. Want to be careful not to have any of the strings accessible because I have had those get caught in my spokes before. And then this is my ski shell that I use downhill skiing, but it could be any shell. So instead of wearing 2 layers like you, I just have 1.
And you have a sweater on.
I have a sweater, but there's one other trick.
One other thing.
There's one other trick. I always wear an undershirt. So this is the key when people talk about sweating.
Yeah.
I wear an undershirt, so if I do sweat, and I try not to, but if I do, I have an undershirt on. So whatever my overshirt is, it doesn't get sweaty. So that works really well. So shell, I never wear down, and I think this is where you have to probably make it a bit personalized because you have a thin down layer.
I run very cold.
You're cold.
Yeah.
I get very hot with any down, so I don't wear any down. So I just have my work clothes and then I have a shell. And the key is to, for me, dress a little bit colder than you think, because as soon as you start moving on that bike, it gets hot.
Yeah,
So
you're warm.
yeah. So then, moving up to my head, I don't wear this hat, and I don't use these glasses either. So, in my backpack, I have my layers. So this is what I've figured out. So I have long, straight hair. So to be able to get to work and not have to do anything with it and just brush it, I put it back in a ponytail. And then I cover it with a buff. So this is my layer number 1. Cover it with a buff like this, so all of my hair is covered and it's not gonna get caught up or too messed up in the helmet. Then I take a fleece neck warmer, and this is my second layer, so kind of like yours. This is gonna cover my face. And then on top of this, I take my ski helmet, also a ski helmet, that has some aeration and covers my ears, and strap it under. And this way I can adjust this if it's hot, cold. And then I also find these, similar to yours, clear ski goggles. This is key for winter, here where it's really dark, is using clear ones, because if you try to use obviously goggles that have tint when it's dark, you can't see. So that's how I go. And warm mitts, of course. When it's very cold, so minus 40s, minus 50s, I put hand warmers in my mitts as well. I don't use pogies. That was one of the questions that we got about the pogies that attach to the bike. I find those actually kind of challenging to get my hands in and out, and I feel worried if I have to stop suddenly. I'm not gonna be able to get my hands out, so I just wear good mitts. And then we're off. And in my backpack, I don't take a change of clothes. I just take a hairbrush and the rest of my work clothes. And the other key, my laptop is in a pocket that is at my back. So even in minus 50 in my backpack, I can carry my laptop to work, no problem, it stays warm.
This is the coolest scarf. it's a triangle, and it has a nice soft inside and a woolly, cozy outside. And all I do is I wrap it around, and it has snaps, and I snap them underneath.
So
Ta-da!
Nice.
And you know what's best about this? When I'm winter biking, nothing's getting caught in my spokes. Two very different types of bikes here.
You sure do.
Yeah, it looks like yours is a fat bike.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's a fat bike good for?
Yeah, so I bought this bike a few years ago, specifically for winter biking here. So this is really good for me, for just feeling a little bit more stable, like I have less chance of slipping. So because there's a lot of surface area of the tire that touches the snow and ice, it has really good grip. If you can see from the tire, this does not have studs, although you optionally can add studs to a fat tire bike if you want even more kind of anti-slip. But I find this quite good. The other thing I'd say about a fat bike and commuting is it's really good to pay attention to your tire pressure. If you're using a fat bike for trail biking, often people will have lower tire pressure to get more grip. But I find that's really hard, especially going up the hill, up Franklin, which is my commute, to get to the hospital. So this is actually pumped up quite a lot. There's quite a lot of tire pressure. And so I find that with a high tire pressure, it's just less effort and I can go faster. So I've gotten it down to about an 18-minute bike commute from my house in Old Town to the hospital.
Amazing.
So I think if I had lower tire pressure, it would be quite a lot slower. But I find this a good mix. Again, if you have high tire pressure and it's feeling too slippery, you can just let a bit out. But otherwise, it's a very simple kind of style of bike as well. There's just one single gear in the front, so I really like that as well. You do have to be a little bit careful when it gets super cold with some of the plastic bits, but for the most part, it's been pretty good. And again, I don't put pogies on, I just use warm gloves. The other thing that's really super important is bike lights. So maybe while I get my bike light out, we'll look at your bike.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to my bike lights.
So my bike is, of course, not a fat bike. It is actually a city bike. And this one has about 2 3/4 inch wide tires, but they're studded. And what I like about this bike is I can use it all year, and I just switch out my tires in the winter to be studded.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really convenient. And I also love my basket where I put all my stuff for work, and I can tie things down and make sure that everything is safe. So it's really easy and it's not on my back. Because what's nice about my bike is it's a very upright bike, so I can look around myself when I'm riding, and I'm very aware of my surroundings. And you talked about how do you not sweat by going to work? Well, I take a leisurely ride to work. I make the extra time to enjoy my ride to work. It's a time when I can think and feel really, really good by the time I get there.
If you ever pass Becca on the trail, you'll also notice that she stops and says hi to everyone.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a way we can connect with our community.
Yeah. I have a question about, so your bike you use all year round. Do you swap out the tire completely?
The whole tire, yeah.
The whole wheel? Or you just
no,
take
just
the tire
off?
off?
Yeah, just the
okay.
tire.
All right.
Off.
So you have the summer and the winter, but you can use the rest of the bike all year round.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I do switch, I suppose you could use a fat bike all year round, and people do, but I do have a summer commuting bike that's thinner tire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool view of Yellowknife Bay over there. The houseboats.
Yeah, this is the most amazing place to bike ever. The ice road. Yeah, so I have 2 lights that are really easy to pop on and off. When I get to work, sometimes I lock my bike outside or sometimes in a cold bike cage, so I don't want to leave my lights there. So these are really easy to pop on and off. And much of the year, I am biking in the dark, both to and from work. So this one just pops on really easily, as you can see. Super bright. So bright out right now you can't see it.
You can't tell.
And then one in the back that also super easy to pop on and off, just like that. Took like a second, just like that. So there you go. So really important to have good lights when we're biking in the dark. It is important to also have one that you can plug in when you're at work, because it is so cold that these do die fairly quickly.
Very fast, yeah.
So I found that this is a good one, but I do need to plug it in before I bike home at the end of the day. So
how about we talk about some of the reasons why we bike all year to our workplaces?
yeah.
Because some people may be trying to understand, why do we do this?
Yeah.
So why did you start?
I have several reasons for bike commuting. One is I just love moving my body, so I want to be active whenever I can. I feel great when I get to work, and I've been active as a way to get there. And as you mentioned, it's a way to kind of have time to just like think, breathe fresh air, connect with people. Also reducing our carbon footprint. This is a clean way to transport ourselves. And so being able to get to work in a way that doesn't contribute to overall unhealth of our planet is really important to me. There's also decreased cost. There is maybe the initial investment in having a bike, but you don't have to have fancy equipment, as we've showed you. And all of our clothes are multifactorial, we use for other things. You don't have to get bike-specific things, other than your bike and your helmet. Well, no, not even our helmets are bike-specific. So decreased cost in terms of not using a car, not buying gas. The other thing is I actually find it just about as fast. So not having to sit in traffic, even though there's not a lot of traffic in Yellowknife, there is time sitting at red lights and waiting, and so it's just as fast to bike.
It seems a little more enjoyable too, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what about you? What are your reasons for bike commuting?
And one of the biggest reasons is to move my body, and I think it's so simple. We live in a very compact community, and it seems overkill to ride my vehicle anywhere unless I really need to, like I'm gonna go get wood or something like that. So I find that it's a very simple way to get to work. It's also faster because I'm not waiting to warm up my vehicle in the wintertime and then, just letting it idle all that time. It just seems a little silly to do that, and it's a lot of wear and tear on my vehicle if I owned a vehicle. So I just enjoy the simplicity of it.
Yeah, me too. I find also I spend a lot of time talking to people about moving their bodies, and so I like to think that I practice what I preach. So I work in healthcare as a family physician, and talking to people about the importance of healthy living is really important to me. So it's good to be able to do the things that you tell other people to do as well.
That's right. Yeah, my background is in a little bit of advocacy for active transportation, which is basically moving from point A to point B in an active way. So it could be everything from walking to biking to scootering to using your wheelchair. So I also want to see our trails and our ways to get easier to move. And so because of that, I also want to see that happen. So I'm working hard on that front as well.
Amazing. What is your bike commute path?
Oh yeah, so I live in the Finlayson area. So I ride down Finlayson towards Range Lake, get onto Burn through Wolgar, and then onto the Frame Lake Trail. And that Frame Lake Trail is amazing. It gets me all the way downtown, and then I'm at work there. And what about you? Where do you commute from?
Yeah, so I live in Old Town, so it's a part of Yellowknife that's down by Great Slave Lake. So my commute is unfortunately up a hill. So that's the beginning, is going up a hill, and that's actually the most important part of not cracking a sweat is going up that hill. And so I try to actually go slow on that hill. That's another part of not being sweaty when you get to work. And then as soon as I can, I get onto the Frame Lake Trail. So I try to get off the busy streets, get onto some side streets, get onto the Frame Lake Trail, and then the very best part in the winter is that there is a trail that goes across Frame Lake. So it cuts right across to the hospital, and I always, even though I've been doing this for years, I just never get tired of this. Like, I am bike commuting to work on a lake.
Hey, we're on a lake right now.
We're on a lake right now, yeah.
Amazing. Like, check this place out. Well, do you want to go for a little ride around?
Let's go for a ride. Let's do some little loops around our sculptures.
That's a good idea.